What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss acclaimed choreographer and creative director Fatima Robinson, specifically Fatima's connection with Aaliyah, and a question that comes up often of, does Fatima Robinson know more about Aaliyah's accident? And as a disclaimer, this is not going to be a video blaming Fatima for the accident, saying she had something to do with it, because most of us with common sense will know she did not have nothing to do with the accident. She was not even there at the airport, right? But when you research things and you look into things, there's a lot of questionable things that happen in those few days that make you go, Another thing I want to add is, it's interesting to me how 100 people can watch something, 92 people will get it, but then there's those 8 people that'll be like, I don't get it. Why did you do this video? What's the point? The point is that justice is not served. Aaliyah and everybody else who was on that flight with her, their souls may be at peace, but justice is not served. I also feel like anyone with common sense can see that this was just not an accident, and there was obviously some manipulation behind the scenes, because that's another excuse you will hear and see. It's been 20 years, get over it. What's the point? The point is, that's how something like a tragic case like Aaliyah and everybody else that was with her, that's how something like that becomes a cold case. You know, those cases that could have been solved years ago, but people just decided to cover the sheets with it, lock the door on it, just let it be where it was. And there's someone out there with key information that could have came out and said something, that could have revealed something, but it was some sworn silence and the case went unsolved for 20 years. Or something was covered as an accident for 20 years when it could have been revealed what really happened. So just take this video as a food for thought as we dig deeper for the truth. Now let's discuss. Fatima Robinson, her resume is long, extensive. She done work with everybody, from everybody to the everybody of the everybody. You know what I'm saying? Fatima Robinson, she's it. Almost every artist wants her creative input, almost every artist wants her choreography, and she does work with a lot of different people. One of her first jobs was working with Michael Jackson, helping him to choreograph Remember the Time, like legendary. And like I said, her resume runs on and on and on, and she's appeared in many different movies, many different shows. She's choreographed it all. She even helped to choreograph the movie Dreamgirls, and she even appeared in it. And another movie she appeared in was in the beginning of Romeo Must Die, which was Aaliyah's first movie. And I'm pretty sure Aaliyah had something to do with that. Y'all know that scene where she was dancing? They was dancing in the store in the beginning? That's how close Aaliyah and Fatima were. To the point where Fatima choreographed many of Aaliyah's music videos. Dope choreography. And if you notice, Aaliyah made sure to feature Fatima in almost all the music videos she helped to choreograph whenever she could. That's how close their bond was. It wasn't just a choreographer that, okay, give me some nice moves, okay, let me learn it for a week or so. All right, thank you. I'm gonna pay you your money whenever. Now I'm gonna go do this video with some background dancers. No, Aaliyah and Fatima had a close relationship that she always made sure she was with her in the music video. That's how much Aaliyah appreciated Fatima. That's how close they were. So now we make it to the Rock the Boat shoot. They're in Miami, right? The green screen. You know the scene where Aaliyah's dancing with the background dancers. She has on those jeans. And this is the scene where it was the blue water behind her. And behind the scenes, you can see her, Fatima, and everyone just laughing, having a good time, going over the steps, just making a fun time doing the music video. And you can really see how close their bond was and how playful they were with each other. Everything was going good. They in Miami now, right? On set, everything's cool, copacetic, fun. But then here's where things go wrong. Hype Williams decides to move the video to the Bahamas, and a video on Hype Williams is definitely coming. So look out for that. Hype Williams decides to move the video to the Bahamas. Okay, Bahamas, a nice vacation spot. Beaches, resorts, island girl. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be work/vacation. And as you can see behind the scenes, Aaliyah did have fun swimming, and she also made the joke about riding her yellow scooter. It was a fun time. But as we know, Aaliyah had finished her scenes earlier. As much fun as Aaliyah was having, or as much fun as she seemed to be having on camera, she was tired, she was ready to go home, and she had had her fun. You know, she had enough of the Bahamas sun. She wanted to go home, working, back to her family, back to her boyfriend. She wanted to go back to the States. So Aaliyah and some of the crew decided to go with her. But let's dial it back some. One of the last days there, they was on that white boat, and there's that story Fatima tells in her Behind the Music where Aaliyah was sleeping. She took a nap before they went over the dance routine. She saw Aaliyah sleeping, So she looked so peaceful, she decided to take a picture of her sleeping. And this has caused a lot of speculation, a lot of and over the years. And I could look at it in two different ways. Fatima always seemed like a spiritual person. And she said how her and Aaliyah would sit on the beach, talk about horoscopes, and just talking about the future, talking about their life. So her seeing Aaliyah sleeping, she felt like that was a perfect moment to capture on her camera. And y'all know back in 2001, the flash camera was a big thing, right? I remember that. Kodak moment. It was a Kodak moment to capture Aaliyah sleeping in her beautiful makeup, sleeping peacefully. Okay, but looking back on it, it could be like, man, did Fatima know something was gonna happen? Did she have a premonition? Why was Fatima the one to take all these last pics of her? Last pics of her sleeping. And not only that, because when you look into it, she also took the picture of them going into the jet boat to take them to the airport, Aaliyah and her crew. So it's like, what made Fatima so excited to take all these last pictures? And going back to the sleeping picture, am I the only one when I was younger and I used to Google Aaliyah and that picture would pop up in Google Images? Am I the only one who would get chills from that picture? My heart would almost skip a beat when that picture popped up, because I always thought that that was a picture of Aaliyah after she had passed. But then looking into it, I'm like, oh, she was sleeping. But it's just so eerie looking at that picture. And Fatima being the one to take it, now you can say it's a big coincidence. It was what it was. She just happened to take that picture. But it's just like all these last pictures that Fatima wanted to take in. It's like, did she have a premonition? Did she know something was gonna happen? Did she feel something was gonna happen? Did she know some stuff behind the scenes that was just like, let me just take these last pictures just in case, you know? Another thing Fatima also came out and said is how, y'all know Aaliyah's subtitle album came out. Fatima had wanted an autograph. So Aaliyah, finding the fun and irony in it, she autographed it for Fatima, and it was just like a fun thing because they're friends. She's a choreographer. It was like, oh, you want my autograph? Okay, you know, she signed it for fun. Fatima won all these keepsakes from Aaliyah, and it makes you wonder, on the other shoots, like Try Again and Are You That Somebody, did Fatima take a lot of behind the scene pics, or did she want some keepsakes from it? It really makes me think, what made Fatima want to take all of these pictures, eerie pictures, pictures of them leaving, pictures of Aaliyah sleeping? It makes you think about it. And like I said, this could all be a coincidence. And I'm not saying Fatima had nothing to do with what happened at the airport, but it just makes you wonder. Now, we go back to the scheduled flights that was supposed to happen. There was a flight scheduled to pick Aaliyah up the next day. But remember, Aaliyah had left a day early. So while at the airport, Aaliyah and or her team had to schedule another company to come pick them up, which was Black Hawk. And this is where the confusion comes in, because it's like, y'all know how many people was there, y'all know they had their luggage. Why did they send that smaller plane? Damon Dash came out saying Lenny Kravitz had sent a flight, or he had communicated with Aaliyah via BlackBerry, telling her not to get on. She didn't feel safe. But it's like, y'all knew who was at the airport. Y'all knew it was Aaliyah plus 8. Y'all knew they had all this luggage. Y'all should have knew what type of plane to send, even if it wasn't the original flight that was scheduled to take her back. But I digress. And another thing I want to say is, you really think about it, right? Aaliyah had did all her dance scenes. Aaliyah had did all her beach scenes. That was really the basis of being in the Bahamas, for Aaliyah to do the scenes on the beach and for them to dance on the boat in the white outfits. What else needed to be filmed? Because that's another thing. I'm gonna save this for the Hype video, but I just want to mention, Hype said we had to film some more shots and do this and do that. The bulk of the Bahamas footage was done. That's why Aaliyah left. Aaliyah is the star of the video. The video is done. The choreography is done. Everything. All those scenes are done. So it's like, y'all could have left with Aaliyah if y'all wanted to. But then I get it. It's the Bahamas. They was like, oh, Aaliyah want to leave early? Oh, I want to enjoy my extra day in the Bahamas. It's the Bahamas, right? You want to enjoy your extra day that you were supposed to be there. I get it. I get it. But there was still some discrepancies with the flight arrangements that hasn't really came out yet. And Fatima, being one of the ones who stayed at the resort, she had close connections to Aaliyah. Her and Derek Lee, they went to the crash site. Like they said, they went to each of the bodies and prayed over them and talked to them. Fatima was the one who had to make that phone call to Aaliyah's mother. It seems as Fatima had to have had some type of information. She had to have known something. Now, Fatima was not there at the airport. That's a major factor. I know that. I know somebody's gonna say, but she wasn't there. We know Fatima wasn't there. She didn't have nothing to do with the scheduling of the flights or nothing. But when she went to the crash site, when she went to the airport, I know she had to have found out something. What happened? Who did this? Who allowed this? You know? And I know there was some communication between Fatima and Hype when she went back to the resort. It's some miscommunication, something missing. That's like, what really caused this? Besides the airport's negligence, what really caused the manipulation for Aaliyah and the 8 others that were with her to feel safe enough to get on this flight? There's some key information missing that when you take what you got, you take what you heard, you take what was told to us, it's like, oh, it was just an unfortunate accident. But there's some key information missing. And Fatima had her hands in everything. She had Aaliyah's mother's number. She was the one that went to the crash site with Derek Lee. She took all these last eerie photos and she just had this connection with Aaliyah. And I know Fatima, she seemed like that type to be like, she just wasn't gonna take, oh, it was just an accident. And you know, Fatima was like, wait, what? And even in the behind the music interview, when Fatima got emotional discussing, like, wasn't I just saying bye to these people? Wasn't I just hugging these people and telling them I'll see you later? That's a pain and trauma one can only imagine. To see your friends and people you were just working with in a state like that. So I could just imagine what Fatima was going through in that moment, going to that site and just looking at the aftermath. But that's where the lines get blurry, and that's where it was just an accident. We don't know what happened. I don't know why. I don't know when. I don't know how. They all say that. But there's something somebody knows, or something that multiple people know that has just never came out. And maybe it's a sworn secret. Maybe they all know. Maybe they just decided to let it rest. But it's like, justice is not going to be fully served, like I said in the beginning, until the full truth comes out. Because look at it like this. Forget about Aaliyah being a famous superstar, a big R&B artist, a big movie star. Forget about Aaliyah being famous. Aaliyah and her team, they were just people with common sense. They had lives they wanted to live, families they wanted to see. They had so much more life ahead of them. Forget about the fame of it all. They were just people. You really think these people with common sense, but all they had to live for, would get on a flight after they were warned it had too much weight on it? After it was warned it was too many of them? If they were told, if you get on this flight, it's gonna crash, and they think, oh, you know what, let's go. Yeah, it's all right. Oh, we'll take our chances. Oh, this plane is gonna crash if we all get on it? Yeah, well, let's see what happens. Y'all really think that happened? And I know for sure, knowing how Fatima was, knowing how close she was, she just didn't let that slide. She went to that airport, she questioned them, her and Derek Lee. They went there, they questioned them, they got some answers, or maybe not. I feel like Fatima knows something that she just decided to just, And if Fatima knows some information that could be key in revealing why this all happened, I'm not saying that Fatima's supposed to come out with a tell-all book to sell millions of copies. I know what happened to Aaliyah on her last flight. I know what happened to Aaliyah at that airport. But if she wanted to, she could have came up with the truth and told her truth, told the real full truth, and not just a sugar-coated story that sounds good for an interview, if you know what I mean. Just tell the full truth for final closure. And y'all wanna know another question I always had, sidelining from Fatima? At the airport, I always wondered if footage of Aaliyah and her crew exists at the airport. Y'all know it's footage everywhere. I know this is 2001, but I feel like they had some type of tape. There's some type of tape or VHS, some type of footage out there of Aaliyah and her team at the airport that has never seen a light of day. It probably still exists somewhere. Footage of them at the airport, waiting, talking to somebody, waiting around, lounging around. I feel like there's footage of them at that airport that was covered up. So to wrap it up, this was not a video blaming Fatima for anything or trying to make it seem like she has something to do with it. Not that at all. But there is some questionable things and circumstances around those last few days and those last pictures and those last interviews she did that were kind of like, and you could just let it be, take her word for it and be like, okay, that's what happened. And Fatima, being one of those people that had her hands in everything at that point in time, it seems like she knows more, or she knew more, or she's one of the people that knows something, but she hasn't revealed it yet. Key information that could be the key to unlocking this mystery of why Aaliyah and her team felt comfortable enough to get on that fateful flight. This was just me digging deeper for the truth. Fatima was one of the last people to see Aaliyah alive, to see everyone else that was with Aaliyah alive. She was one of those last people to really be there, immersed there. Aaliyah's parents and Rashad, they were not there. Fatima was the one there. She was one of the first ones to go to the site afterwards. They found out what happened. Hype Williams didn't come to the site. I'm gonna talk about that more in his video. Fatima and Derek Lee rushed over to the site to see what happened. So it's just kind of like some missing information that I feel would tie everything up together to be like, oh, So that's what it was. And with that, I leave it there. Do you guys think Fatima Robinson knows more about Aaliyah's accident? And if y'all have any other information, key information, articles, stuff you've heard, stuff you read that I missed out on regarding Fatima, regarding the accident in general, regarding sketchy details surrounding why they got on that flight, let me know down below. Let's discuss it down below. This should make for an intriguing discussion. It's been over 20 years. It's about time we get to the real truth. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.
Fatima knows me, and when you get to know somebody and you feel comfortable with them and they know your style, I don't ever have to worry that she's gonna do something I don't like.
I live out my dreams of being an artist through Aaliyah, definitely.